Beata from Brampton is going to come in shortly. Let me take this screen down. Say hi.
Drum roll, is it working?
Oh, wow. Yeah, your sound's working good now.
No, awesome.
Sounded like
it's because I got one of these puppies out. That's why.
Here, I'll toast it, but I'm drinking water tonight.
Oh, yeah, don't lie. I know that's vodka.
No, it's water.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Ching,
ching.
Does it this way. All right. Cheers.
So we got Beata in the green room. We're going to bring her on. She's been doing a whole bunch of active work against your buddy there. I know he's a personal friend of yours, Mr. Brown. I know you supported him a lot. Why are you coughing?
I don't know, a frog in my throat or something. Maybe a brownie.
Did he change his ways or what?
Oh, hell no. He's just as evil as ever. Come on. Modi's his best buddy. He's his butt buddy. Come on.
So why would Modi be his best buddy?
Because he influences the elections. It's foreign interference. That's straight up what it is. Mr. Modi. You know what he does? Patrick told me. When it's election time, to get all of those people in the room in this giant, like a rec center, a community center, or whatever. Modi comes in, doesn't say a word. He just comes in, walks around the whole building, and walks out. And that's him showing support for Brown. So everybody votes for downtown Brown. Flush it down.
So Modi, for those who don't know, is the Prime Minister of India, correct?
Correcto mundo, and he's always been great friends with Brown. When Brown was an MP and just a backbencher, he was always going over to visit Modi, and yeah, that's the way it is with downtown Brown.
Yeah. Anyways, let's bring in Beata. She's, I believe she's a Brampton resident, and she has some issues with the town council and what they're doing. Shall we bring her in?
Yeah, sure. While we're doing that, here's a quick note. I had dealings with Brampton also, and we issued them a trespass notice. You should have seen the reaction of them. It was fun. All right, bring her on.
What happened?
They cried, they stumbled, they were retarded, and then they turned around and tried to say, oh, no, it's not a constitutional issue, and it was for that exact bylaw that just came down, that bylaw is unconstitutional. So anytime, Willie Brown, let's go, baby.
All righty. Beata, welcome to the lounge. What's going on? I can't add her to the stage. Why not? There we go. Hey. My mouse is sticking or what? What is going on here? There we go.
Jesus.
How are you?
Good. For those of our listeners that don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a Brampton resident, a mother to a beautiful young daughter, a wife to my husband. I work 2 jobs. I fight our city and try to protect our children.
Awesome.
What are you protecting our children from?
Well, this all stemmed from a few years back when my daughter was about 7 or 8. So it's been about 3 or 4 years in the making now. Since the city began changing, renovating the rec centers to incorporate a single change room for all, my daughter had the lovely experience of being exposed to some male adults' genitalia while entering the change rooms. And when I went to report that to the desk, they had let me know they had already over 30 complaints. Then I found they were currently building the Balmoral Center, Balmoral Recreation Center, and they had the same plans to have the inclusive change room, open floor plan with a exposed shower. And I've been fighting ever since. I've heard more stories from other parents, their experiences. I've received letters. and it's just been stemming from there. So I've been kind of fighting the city with that. I've made multiple complaints. They basically brush it off, and I've had a delegation with our council and the mayor, which they didn't seem overly impressed with. We've had David Menzies come and do a news report in front of the rec center. He's also done another report down in Oakville. We had a report done by True North News, trying to make as much noise as possible. Dropped off the petition to our mayor, who smugly said he'll, have a look at it. And basically everything's been ignored and brushed off, and for the sake of inclusivity, as they put it.
Did you say inclusivity?
Oh, yes. Yes, the change rooms are for the sake of inclusivity.
Interesting.
So as not to offend anyone.
So if I'm a murderer and you're walking along and I see Ed and I decide I'm going to strangle him to death on the street, does that mean I should not be arrested because it's inclusivity, and that way I don't feel offended that I'm a murderer?
Well, this is the funny thing. So I actually also had some conversations with some police officers. And the first one had let me know, much like everyone else, they agree but prefer to keep silent. So in his sense, everything comes from the top down, is what he told me. Now, he explained he does have a family to take care of, and he needs his job, and he has to follow his orders. And they cannot stand up against this, which is ridiculous because they are there to serve and protect, and they're meant to serve and protect the people. Not the government, not their ideology, not criminals. And but for fear of their job, for fear of, reprimand, which is what many people are afraid of, they have to go along with it. And he said, as the moment he retires, he will be right by our side. And I let him know. I said, well, that's besides the point. We need you now. We need all of you now to stand up and fight against this. You are in the position to stop the madness occurring. Much like the Pride Parade, they don't interfere. They let people walk around exposing their genitals and, in front of families and children. And there are no arrests, which indecent exposure is a criminal offense, especially when it comes to minors.
So that being said, Stefanos, how did they get away with this?
Well, I'm going to touch on a couple of points because Beata's just said the all-time classic of what the police they're just acting like Nazis. That's what the Nazis said. We're only doing our job, but we've seen them all get hung. And why was that? Because that's not an excuse. There's morality, and they should have took morals over the just doing our job bit. So, and the police aren't there to serve and protect the people. They literally are there to serve, protect the interests of the government that hires them. So this is why they leave it up to the discretion of an officer if he's going to arrest somebody or not, because they're not bound. They have no duty to arrest anybody. And I could be getting my fingers cut off and my rings taken away with my fingers and being stabbed in front of them. There's no requirement for them to even act. And I learned this when I stood the piss out of the NRP a couple of times. So this is what came out of all of this stuff. So real world education, you can't beat it. I tell you, it's so good. And
this explains when they tried to kill Jack back in 2019 on was it Bay and Queen or Bay and College? They got jumped by all those Antifa and they're taking the boots to the poor old guy.
Didn't they throw a brick at his head too?
Yeah, he got bricked first. They used that to get him on the ground, and then they started taking the boots to him.
Yeah,
they knocked me down from behind. And then I got up and I seen Jack covered with Antifa, and I just started ripping the Antifa off. And of course, the police just watched. Made a police report next day. 2 months later, it's all academic. No, what do they say? It's a civil issue. So murder or attempted murder is a civil issue. That's what the cops told me.
It's insane. It's insane. The insanity that officers cannot charge and hold criminals because with the liberals program, it's all catch and release now. And even the chief had mentioned we need stronger laws to ensure that we hold these criminals because they're being released either the same day or the next day, and they're
Tell that tell that
continuously.
Pat King
Yeah,
if it's catch and release.
yeah. Well. See, the innocent ones get to be kept behind bars for years. The harmless ones, I believe, what the two Coots boys are still locked up. The harmless ones are locked up, but the criminals, the violent offenders, are released. It's the insanity is top notch in Canada.
Can't go against the government. That's what they're trying to enforce.
Very true. They're trying to intimidate, which is why so many people don't want to put their faces forward because they're afraid of the backlash that they may get.
Okay, so that being said, what's often not discussed is the impact being fondled or assaulted has on the kids.
It's devastating. There have been so many accounts. The most recent one was at the new rec center on the Balmoral rec center that they had just built. A 40-year-old man tried to lure a child into a stall and assault them and exposed his privates. And he was caught outside. He left and had come back and exposed himself some more outside the rec center. So it's, the children, there's so many accounts with these children in these rec centers because they're vulnerable. I mean, anyone can follow them into the stall, which happened on another occasion, and assault them. And the devastation, the loss of their innocence, the trauma caused by this lives with them for the rest of their life. It affects their mentality. They begin to have trust issues. They're fearful for their lives. It really takes a large toll on a child. Absolutely.
Yeah. So this seems to be pretty common in Edmonton for some reason. A very liberal city.
So there was the first instance, and then a second instance with multiple children. In Edmonton, there was the one in Surrey earlier. There's a few, actually. There was another recent one in Vaughan where a 65-year-old employee locked two girls in a room and confined them. They felt that they were in trouble for being too loud. However, he confined them in this room, and when they tried to get out, he sexually assaulted one of them before they escaped. And he's been caught and charged. Whether anything comes of it, we don't know. But even one Edmonton News report stated that in the last 5 years, there's been 33 sexual assaults on minors at rec centers, and the numbers are growing, and that's everywhere, and that's not counting the ones that aren't reported and the ones, whether it's just simply indecent exposure or sexual intention.
There's no statute of limitations on sexual offenses, and a report can be made to police at any time, regardless of how much time has passed. So they're saying call the cops. I don't know if the cops are going to do anything though.
They do have a division for child sexual assaults and and that they do take seriously, and they will record every event reported, which helps them with future incidents or charges that need to be laid. So it's very important to ensure you report any indecent exposure, any sexual assault, any attempt on either yourself or your children.
Ed, bring up the link there that I threw you in private chat.
This is a fresh one here. This is from April 9th, 2026 in Newcastle.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like there's no demographic area that's not covered with these pedos.
No,
there's a range. There is a range.
Yeah, so voyeurism, they set up cameras, they do all sorts of stuff. There was a guy in Welland that just recently too. I can't remember. There was tons and tons of victims of that one, but I think there was one that was just some, what was there, 600 victims or something of all voyeurism. So that was like yesterday or the day before, I believe it was. So there's tons of it, but if you bring up that link there, I'm going to explain some stuff for you.
I don't know if you guys can hear me, but
we did hear him, and then he just butt out of here.
But we did actually in 2024. There was also a voyeurism case in Earnscliffe Recreation Center done by one of their employees, a 20-year-old. And he had multiple accounts that he was charged with, following women into the bathrooms and filming them.
Here's the difference. If Ed pulls up that link, I'll explain the difference to you, because you got to remember, police don't know law, right? They have no idea about law. They don't know law, so they don't know anything about it. Ed, go down to 173.1 indecent act. There you go. Now, so here you go. So this, you're wondering why in the change rooms, this is your reason why in the change room there's no charge, because it's not meant to offend. And, see, or in any place with intent to insult or offend. They're not there with the intent to insult and offend. They're just changing because they're a woman or something. Mm-hmm. So because these psychopaths follow the UN agenda, which all of this is what is going on here, and the UN agenda is all through the police departments. It's actually gone right through into the Law Society. So there's big problems. And so this is how they bring it in. It's all in your municipalities and your provincial governments. So you have a foreign, unelected Marxist body that's controlling Canada, which is unconstitutional and unlawful. So everybody who acts under the UN stuff, to me, should be charged, seeked out, and convicted for treason, because that's what it is. It's treason against Canadians.
Hey, check this out. Every person who in any place for a sexual purpose exposes his or her genital organs to a person who is under the age of 16 years is guilty of an indictable offense and is liable to imprisonment for a term of not more than 2 years and to a minimum punishment of imprisonment for a term of 90 days, or is guilty of an offense punishable on summary conviction and is liable to imprisonment for a term of not more than 6 months, the minimum imprisonment of a term of 30 days. Now, if you're not a him or a her, say you're an it, this doesn't apply to you, does it?
Well, Ed, it doesn't apply to any of them, period. Be it an it, him, her, he, she, Hershey, whatever the hell you want to call it, doesn't apply to them because they're not there for a sexual purpose. Remember, it's not to insult or offend. This is, human rights here. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. So this is the bullshit they go under, and it's the way it's done. See, look at this one, Ed, nudity. Everyone who without lawful excuse. There you go. So women can go topless. And that's lawful because they can do it because it's the law. So, this is the wording. It's always a big word salad. Everybody's like, oh, look, it's exposing what. No, you got to read what it says.
Mm-hmm. And that's the problem is many people aren't aware of the laws. They're not. They know the basis of it, but they don't actually read the nitty gritty of all the details.
Well, how about public decency or order?
Yeah, but Ed, uh, what's it say here? For the purpose of this section, a person who is nude, who is so clad as to offend against public decency, or so. What's so nude and clad?
So if we go down to the gay pride parade and we start to riot, wouldn't that mean that we're offended against the public decency or order?
No, you would be public order. You would be out of order. Okay, so you'd be disorderly conduct, Ed. But this is different, right? So this is different. So that who is so clad as to offend against the public. So what's so clad? Okay, a woman can go topless. Can she go bottomless? Now that's the catch there. So if she goes bottomless, then she's going to offend against decency and crap like that. So
175 is a good point. Where is it?
Everyone who, not being in a dwelling house, causes a disturbance in or near a public
Where did
space
it go?
by fighting, screaming, shouting, swearing, singing, or using insulting or obscene language, by being drunk, or by impeding or molesting other persons.
we already beat this in court, Ed. It was found to be unconstitutional. So they'll leave it in there and they'll just keep letting people go. And because when you're protesting, what's the highest law in Canada? It's not the criminal code. I'll give you a hint that way. What's the highest law there, Ed? Come on.
The man, he who has a gold.
So 175. Things were adjusted.
Yeah, so it's the Constitution, Ed. That's the highest law of the land, and that's why that was beaten. You can swear in public. You can whatever you want. These coppers will try to come in and say, "Hey, I'm gonna enforce this crap," but what happens is you go to court, you challenge it, and you win. And actually, that was a case against the Niagara Parks Police, and our good dead buddy Ed Freddie Bracken. So that was one of his cases, and it was blown away because he said, "Fuck China, go Trump." So he was using obscenities in the public place in Niagara Falls in the parks. Ooh.
Goodness. Yeah, we had when I did my delegation, and I had the indecent exposure laws. So 174.1 was everyone who, without lawful excuse, as you mentioned, is nude in a public place, or 175, which was everyone who openly exposes or exhibits an indecent exhibition in a public place, can be criminally charged. But it seems things have changed.
They'll change it, but they're constantly changing. And the other thing is this: that criminal code that's there. If you scroll, I think it's down. Let me just double check so I don't look dumb. I don't like to look dumb. So let me scroll the bottom. They have a disclaimer on here. If you get the whole version of it, there's a disclaimer because this is not the actual criminal code, so it's just parts of it. So this is where you have to get the Martin's Law book, and you have to get it every year, and then you have to also keep up to date with the criminal code because Martin's is the up-to-date stuff, and what you don't see here, what you'll see in Martin's is they'll go on to explain what is an indecent act in a public place. So they will say what an indecent act is, and they'll even cite case law and stuff like that. So this is what it is, right? This is just like a quick guide kind of thing, I guess you could say. There's an interesting little comment right there. Huh? Is a code or law? So the criminal code is actually federal law. How's that? How's that for wacky? But that's what happens. So it's a criminal code, but not an actual code, such as the Roman Marxist code, which Quebec is under. A lot of people don't know that, but that's how Quebec is run. The rest of Ontario is under law, but this would be the criminal code. It's called, but it's not like a code in what you're thinking. It's actual law. So it's an act. Any legislation, any act is law.
I was going to say, what's years ago, I don't know if you recall, we used to have a map that was available to the public of where they released predators and sexual offenders. When we first moved to Brampton almost 20 years ago, I did a search of our area of Brampton because, we were new to Brampton. I just kind of wanted to get the gist of what the area looked like. And they did still have the map at the time. And I have to say, majority of the Brampton area is where they released sexual offenders. So mind you, this was many years ago, but the entire map was red. There were parts in Scarborough, parts in Toronto, in North York, in Mississauga, but Brampton was entirely covered. So you can imagine the amount of incidents that occur here through all the rec centers we have, and many go unreported. It's insane. It's insane.
Well, and young offenders are also a problem. And actually, I was up to the wee hours of the morning reading case after case after case last night, and I found some pretty disturbing stories. And I've been quite disturbed myself all day today and last night. I've been literally bouncing off the walls. But and this is because of the fact that Ed let Dr. Rona come on the show once. I'm only kidding. No. So what happened was, so there was the young offenders, a big problem there because the law is not tough on them, right? They're young. They don't know better yet and everything. So when there is child luring or indecent stuff like that, like they literally get like a slap on the wrist. And what what was so disturbing was the fact that these are kids. This one here had a problem from 10 years old, going back to 91, I believe it was. So he was found mentally incapable of standing to the charge, and he was in Cam H. So right up to 2026, they're still saying he's a danger to the public, even in Cam H. But I was reading all of the crimes. Like, I mean, reoffending is like an infinite number of offenses. Like, it's just so many. And I was reading the one thing that was so shocking was the one they sentenced him. I guess he was fit enough to stand trial and later on, but one of the things was they gave him 1 day plus 3 years of probation. So I'm like 1 day of prison. So I'm going to speak from experience. My friend ended up getting 1 day in prison, and what that consisted of was they booked him, processed him. He went into the jail, had to get all the stuff. He had to make his bed, and then he had to pack it all up and leave. That's considered a day. And then I had to pick him up. So if you're seeing where I'm going with this, and this is after probably some 10, 15 offenses they committed, right? And what's so disturbing about this is the leniency they're getting as adults now. And where's the threshold? I know when I was young and crazy and getting in trouble, when I was under 18, who cares? As soon as you hit 18 and you get nailed once, then you'll get some time. Then you'll get some more time the next time, and it would just like double, and it would just escalate. Now it's like, let me reoffend, let me be a pedophile. Who cares? I'm out on bail. Doesn't matter how many times I breach conditions. Doesn't matter how many times I, commit more offenses. And what do they get? Maybe 8 months house arrest, and that's too harsh, and they appeal it, and then they get it reduced. Like, that's crazy. But we'll soon find out on June 5th how this goes.
Well, you've also seen the case where the judge was being lenient because of immigration status.
Oh,
Being deported.
More than one.
Yeah, keep it under the 6-month mark. So
That's considered, in my eyes, that is clearly discrimination.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but when you have the legal system being infiltrated by the United Nations and policing and the Law Society and the municipalities, the provincial government, federal government, is it? Like, like, they're gonna do what they're being told. The fact, if you've studied the agendas at all, they want to make pedophiles be accepted and acceptable, and something that's normal in society. And this is why they've tried to give them the name MAPS, right? Minor attracted persons, because it doesn't hold the stigma like pedophile does, right? It's blunt.
Yes, there are many organizations starting up trying to convince people to accept them. It's disgusting. Well, and on top of that, we all know now that in 2021 the RCMP found child pornography on our own prime minister's cell phone and computers. Our lovely Mr. Trudeau was viewing child porn while in office.
With
And
government equipment, no doubt.
absolutely. And where are the charges? Where are the charges? There have
Stefanos,
been none.
Stefanos, you're a big fan of the law. What are the charges?
There is none, Ed. They got immunity. You know how that goes.
No.
Well,
And now,
because
he's with Katy Perry now, so who cares?
and everyone believes it's the government. It's the government making these rules and the laws, and the government does. They are to blame. However, they are not the ones that are directing where this country is going.
So the monarchy is the true government of Canada. And this is why we have a de facto government, which is our governments we vote for. The de facto is like it's kind of like I'd like to say false, for lack of the use of a better term, but I'll use that for simplicity's sake. So it's like a false government, but the actual government is the monarchy. And what happens is they want to give us a sense of self-governance, and so we get to elect who we want in. But the above stuff comes from the monarchy. This is why our legislation has to receive royal assent. This is why the governor generals become a rubber stamp instead of doing their job and preventing unconstitutional law from receiving royal assent. They're our last line of defense for the people in defense of the government. They should be the ones turning around and saying, hey, send it back to the Senate, rework it, or send it back to Parliament, let them come up with some adjustments, this part, whatever. Doesn't happen anymore. That's the problem. Our governor general's just a rubber stamp now.
They are, and with all these unelected officials dictating how we run our country, including the WHO, including the UN, and everyone getting their 2 cents in. The world is full of these pedophiles. We already know that with the Epstein files and everything else. We know who's running things around here, and it's definitely not the governments we elect. But
No,
it's definitely time to rid ourselves of these sick individuals in these positions of authority and start electing regular people who actually care about, you know, our communities, our country, it's everyone keeps pitting one against the other, left against the right. It's not, because it doesn't matter who you elect, who's already a politician. They all fall under the same roof.
I don't. I'm a politician. I'm just not elected, but I don't fall under that roof. And this is the other crazy thing. In Niagara alone, there's been a 700% increase in these monsters, these pedophiles. And when you have a government like the Progressive Communist government, I like to call the PC Party of Ontario, they refuse to even make simple little changes that can be done literally in 5 minutes with no exaggeration through a ministerial order to at least protect private schools and like criminal background check or to be certified a college teacher. And I know for a fact that's no guarantee on anything, but at least it would have stopped the monsters such as Serge Leclerc and Mark Bolan and Arthurs and Zara and all these career criminals, these violent offenders, these pedophiles like Rudery, Ulstead. The list goes on and on. And the problem is, it would have cut them out immediately. But the other disturbing fact is that Canada-wide, it is 86% of teachers are the offenders in this stuff. So this is why schools are such a dangerous feeding ground of on these poor children. And the government, you want to serve them up on a silver platter for the monsters, nice and easy. I got a saying, show me a teacher and I'll show you a predator. And that holds true today. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, we have a teacher in Brampton currently. His name is, what's his name here? Massimiano Tallarico, who is teaching at one of our schools. And there have been already multiple allegations where he's being very sexual towards the young 14-year-old girls. He was removed once. He was put on leave while he was being investigated, and they brought him back. And he's still continuing to make these young girls feel uncomfortable. I've spoken with the parents and some of the girls, and he's very sexual and aggressive towards them, and he's back teaching at the school. It's
Christ, get me these kids' parents. Time to haul them into court. Like, well, why are they not doing it? Are you kidding me? You're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Bring a tort of sexual assault or harassment, and torts are quasi-criminal, so you'll get your criminal justice out of it, and it's a civil remedy at the same time. Nail the mother effer. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Parents, wake the hell up.
It's I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know where to begin. These daycare workers, these preschool teachers, the elementary teachers, the high school teachers, they're infiltrating every position of some type of authority because there are so many of them. So many of them.
So here's the thing, Stefanos, and this is what I think the big thing holding back people is. People don't want to hire a lawyer or take someone to court because there's a chance they could lose. Second thing is, do they have the money to get an effective lawyer to represent them properly and actually take this to a finish line and actually get a judgment and recoup some of that money? That's the thing, financially.
Well, they always say, don't worry about the price tag in the end. Easier said than done, but usually don't. And if you look hard enough, you'll find lawyers that are actually good out there, and they'll work with you. And there's a lot of them that'll work with you, at least that I know. And they're all damn good. So, if you can't find one, come to me. I'll get you one.
I may come to you sooner than later. We'll have to see with my fight. Because I found out my fight is much bigger than I anticipate. Well, not that I didn't anticipate, but I kind of already knew where it was coming from. This order to create, universal change rooms for all the families is actually coming from the federal government. So me fighting the city of Brampton and our already corrupt mayor won't do much good when it comes from federal government.
So let me ask you this. How is it coming from federal government to a municipality? Because federal government and municipalities are not connected. And not only they're not connected, but in the Constitution, there's a division of powers. They don't fall under there. So the only way that that would be possible or made possible is you need to have the province, because municipalities are creatures of the province and they fall under provincial jurisdiction, not federal. Bam, let it go. Tell me.
If you actually believe they follow their own laws and regulations.
Right. So this is the point that I'm making. Under the division of powers, where's Ford? Why isn't he beaking his mouth off about this? He should be front and center. Especially Brown being the former leader of the PC party. Come on. Sorry I had the hand of getting him there. I'm sorry. I apologize to every Ontarian here in Canada even.
You see, Patrick Brown had multiple allegations against him as well.
With the two girls. That's how we got him out of being a leader. But at the end, they turned out not to be real. That's what it said in the courts. That's what it came out with. I'm just repeating what it said. What actually happened, I don't know. I'm not a fly on a wall.
So I have. I'm still awaiting an appointment with our MPP. I was told it should be coming anytime soon because this has already been a month in the making, and so I'm waiting to hear. I have to follow up and see when this appointment is going to take place, because just to get more information, just to see what direction we can take this, because the MPP is on our side, which is fantastic. So hopefully, we can take some extra steps and see where else we can go before I call you up for a lawyer.
All right. Awesome. Yes. I like how when you say the NPP is on our side, I hope you're using that like a super loosely term, because they're not on our side. Trust me. I spent 10 years in Queen's Park. I know how everything works. Nope. Sorry. Wrong house. Isn't happening. And if you see things from the inside, your eyes will have a different view, and you'll look at everything with a whole different set of lenses. So that's why some of the things I say is pretty far out there. But the funny thing is I always back it up with proof all the time. So that's the nice thing. I always have it covered.
Okay, here's the thing. What Beata's doing right now, is she going in the right direction, or?
Well, I don't know what Beata's doing. So she's got an appointment. What's the end goal? What are we looking for? What's the achievement we want? How are we going about doing it?
Well, what I'm looking for is to bring back, or stop renovating the rest of the rec centers and bring back our men's, women's, and family change rooms so that we have a safe place for our children, and to help try and prevent this from happening. There was no issues before. I mean, there was, but far and few in between. Now they're happening constantly on a regular basis because everyone is in one confined space, and it's open. Showers are open. There's only minimal stalls available, and a predator can quickly throw a child in one of those little cubicles and lock the door, and no one would be the wiser if they,
It's happened. An employee of McDonald's, okay? I know this. I read it.
Yeah.
So it's happened.
So I want them brought back to ensure the safety of our children, and yeah.
So, Beata, federal money was paying for these change room conversions, was it not?
Yes.
There you go, Stefanos. It's always about the money.
They were, yeah.
So I'm going to assume it's a grant. What was the grant under?
I can't recall. I believe it was part of
Follow the money.
renovation and construction or city improvements.
So all of that stuff, infrastructure, all that stuff falls under the provincial government. So what's the federal government doing here? This is what I'm talking about. What kind of a grant was it to the municipality? Go to the municipality, ask for freedom of information, request all of that because it's all public knowledge, so they can't hide it on you or say defamation, which is I've seen it all, or redacted. You know, we'll fight that easily and get rid of it. But I mean, like, ask for all of the funding, all the documents, ask for all the stuff, because then you're going to see what it is. Then we're going to freaking find out when was little Patty Brown. Can we call him Patty? Because he might be a he, she, her, him. So we'll call him Patty. And maybe Patty had a visit with Carney or something. Yeah. The Patty Carney connection.
Well, this was still in Trudeau's era, so and
okay.
Where I received this information is from a very good source.
All right, so this is
very reliable, reputable source.
So what I'm going to use as an example is, you know, the big gun grab that's going on. It's unlawful, naturally, and when they brought that in, you had municipalities suddenly jump up because the federal government said, hey, we can make one central repository and you can all have your handguns in there and you can all get them when you need to go to the range and garbage, right? And this the federal government. Well, the province stepped in and said, you can't do that. You're not in charge of that. So how the hell can he be giving Patty freaking money to do this stuff in Brampton? This is what this is. So you see, automatically it's a big no. It's a huge no. It's unconstitutional.
Those are the details I have to get to the nitty gritty of.
And how is it unconstitutional?
It's a division of powers, Ed. Federal government's got no business in municipalities. Those are creatures of the province. That's all provincial jurisdiction, not federal.
So do you sue the municipality for taking money from the feds? What do you do?
Well, we got to see what's there. You can't jump the gun. We got to see what's there, how it was done. Maybe it's not a matter of suing. Maybe there's criminality. Maybe there's money laundering. Maybe there's who knows what. So this is where you have to go step by step. Ed, can't jump ahead of yourself. Can never assume, because you get some pretty big surprises along the way sometimes.
So what do you suggest Beata does to keep moving on this?
Well, we got to obtain documentation. So freedom of informations are one thing for sure. If Mr. MPP of yours, which party is he with? He or she or whatever.
Conservative.
Oh God. Okay, so so we can get this person to get them to step in, get the province to ask the municipality for the documentation. He's an MPP. He should have no problems getting that from the municipality.
Yeah. So
like Patty should be like, here, I got to give it to you or I'm screwed, right? That's what he got to do.
That's I'm waiting for that next step. So hopefully.
Well, you'll find just how much he's on your side if he makes you jump through the hoops and go with freedom of information. You know he's not on your side.
True.
Actions always speak louder than words.
Okay, next question. How many people you got in your group that are supporting you or that are backing you up? Is it growing? Is it shrinking?
Myself?
Yeah.
I have quite a few. I do have quite a few. Not as many as I would like. I haven't reached out to any more groups than I already have. That's kind of been on a standstill. I've been dealing with some family issues as well, so that end of it has been on hold for a while. But gotta keep going full steam ahead now. Now, especially with these last couple of incidences, now is the time when the topic is hot.
So if people want to reach out to you, how can they get a hold of you?
I have email specifically for this.
Can you put it in the private chat and I'll put the banner underneath?
I can. I just want to make sure I have the right one because I had two at the time, so I want to ensure it is the proper one.
So just copy and paste that, put it in the private chat, and I'll get the banner up. And please vet whoever you let into your group. There's going to be infiltrators trying to get in.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is just an email. So I've been receiving letters, their stories, things like that. I'm only giving out the email for contact purposes. And then otherwise it's the people I know personally. So, and the ones I've met and that I can rely on. Here we go.
You know what I seen at the protest, at the pro-life protest at Queen's Park last Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
There was an Antifa idiot with a placard.
Oh, yes.
And he said, abortion is healthcare.
Good Lord.
And I challenged him on it, and he got so upset. He started poking his umbrella at me. Get away from me.
Was it a stiletto umbrella? Can you press the button, it shoots forward?
You know what?
Probably.
I'm going to send it in the private chat because I didn't realize I had to log in. If you can copy and paste that for me.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it. And are you going to the Moms Resist event on Saturday?
Saturday I cannot. I have a bridal shower to attend, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, it's fantastic, but
I see a family fight coming now.
She's a beautiful girl. Beautiful girl and deserves the world.
Don't they all? So I'm Ed, I don't know, are you coming down on the 5th of June?
I don't know. I got some personal health issues, so everything I'm doing is on hold right now.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
So I'm hoping I can come down.
Hope so, because you know, if you kick off, I'm stuck doing the lounge by myself. I'm gonna have to get like Hisham or Dr. Rona as my sidekick. Take your pick.
Oh my God, not Dr. Rona. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Man, StreamYards, they keep changing everything every week. Now I can't even find the there they are. Create banner. Concerned parents brampton at hotmail.com, right?
That is it.
Alrighty. So I'll leave that up for a few minutes. What happened? Stefanos? Knock it off.
I'm sorry, Ed. I'm just showing the fans. You know, it's just the fans.
So if anyone wants to join Beata in Brampton in their fight, showing up to so what do you guys do? What do you get your volunteers to do for you?
We just we have done the petition. We just spread awareness. We try to gather as much information from other people willing to attend and support. And hopefully, you know, we'll have a large enough group. If later down the line we have to take it the legal route, we're going to need support. But as long as we have the numbers and everyone stands together and fights together, I understand people are worried about, you know, backlash and not being a target. But when it comes to our kids, I'll put a bullseye on my forehead. I'll be ready.
Gary, that you got to say these kind of things, eh?
I am not crazy, nor am I suicidal.
I am not. Putting a target on my forehead, in no way am I implying such a thing.
Anyways, Beata, thanks for coming on. I'm just going to do a quick little blurb for this Saturday's conference.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
And hopefully you'll have some more good news for us.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Awesome.
Guys, there's the email, concerned parents, brampton at hotmail.com. If you want to help out Beata, or if you're in Brampton especially, you got to get off the couch and do something.
Absolutely. If not for your kids, who are you going to fight for?
Yeah, see, people are laughing about Dr. Rona coming on, see?
They love him. They're all cheering. Look, yeah, Dr. Rona, yeah, see? Ed, you're like missing out here. You can really grow the show.
Yeah. No, it's not the direction I want to take the show. All right, Beata, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Nice meeting you. Thanks. Bye.
All right, the conference this weekend, it's Saturday from 2 till 8 p.m. You got to register at momsresist.ca/conference. $20 is just to get, helps pay for the venue, because this is all privately funded. And actually the $20 won't even cover the room of the cost for the event. So you got to register, pay your $20, momsresist.ca/conference. And then 36 hours before the event, they'll send you the address. It is in Vaughan. It's supposed to be easy to get to. There you go. Individual, $20, couple $35. Children get in for free. Self-defense lessons, healing music, empowering testimonies, music for children in another room, light dinner, and bevies.
Is there still lots of tickets left at it? Is it almost sold out yet or what?
Still tickets are available.
Get out there and get your tickets. Come on, get up, register, get over there.
So we got people coming out from Quebec. They're going to be talking about food, sources of food, and Guardians of the Next Generation community-focused farming initiative, passionate about food access, preparedness, and helping families connect with local food sources. Soul chord music, faith music, community hope. This guy's pretty awesome on the drums. Actually, I've seen them before, and she's pretty good on the keyboards. What else we got? Huh. Thought there's more to that. What's on the brochure? That's May 15th. Nope. I thought there was more. I am so sorry. It's on page 2. So end child trafficking and exploitation now. That's what Moms Resist is focusing on these days. And taking action. Spreading the word. Having those tough conversations. But also getting the information that you need to do what's got to be done. Where is it? There we go. So Kristen Nagel will also be speaking, former nurse. We've had her on freedomreport.ca a few times. She'll be speaking on home birth, maternal wellness, child protection, and the importance of empowering families through education, support, and compassionate care. Who else we got on here? Oh, that's how we get it. There's more pages here.
It's all about the dots, Ed.
Yep, it's all about the dot. So Jaden Posen, she's a big Jaden Posen is a survivor advocate dedicated to raising awareness around children protection, exploitation prevention, and healing through lived experience. Through speaking engagements and community advocacy, Jaden works to empower others, encouraging difficult conversations and support safer futures for children and youth. And I believe she is also a survivor. Jeff Rutherford is an engaging speaker and storyteller and self-defense teacher who inspires critical thinking, connection, and meaningful conversation. drawing his knowledge of world history, leadership, communication, and teamwork. He creates impactful presentations that encourage learning, shared experiences, and new perspectives. As a self defense teacher, Jeff will also be sharing practical techniques to help build confidence, awareness, and personal safety. Yvonne Lambert, after experiencing the heartbreaking loss of her daughter, Samantha, Yvonne Lambert has transformed pain into purpose by supporting awareness initiatives focused on child protection, healing, and community connection. Her message is one of resilience, compassion, and hope. Maria Guardado is a speaker and advocate and associate dedicated to helping families navigate today's challenges through education, support, and community engagements. She is passionate about empowering parents and encouraging positive change through awareness and collaboration. We already spoke about the farmers. We already spoke about Kristen Nagel. And there's going to be children's musical lessons by renowned vocal coach. So yeah, it's going to be a great afternoon. Again, you gotta register on momsresist.ca. You just go to momsresist.ca and you'll see the conference. You'll see this link. This is right off their website.
Sounds like an activity-packed day for sure. It's worth what is it, $20? You said the ticket.
Yep.
Yeah, well worth the $20. I think it's gonna be a full day event. I take it 2 to 8. Wow.
2 day, yeah, 6 hours. I got a feeling it's going to go late though. They can't cover all this info in 6 hours.
Never know. It might be, might be able to get the whip out. You get the crack in the whip, and that'll get them moving.
Yeah. So hopefully this initiative will go well, and then they're going to spread this. Maybe they'll do it in other communities if it's reasonably well received. But people need to know.
Yeah, they need to know, but people need more than just knowing. They need to take action, and what actions to take, and what that looks like, and how that's done. So that's the next steps, baby steps, one step at a time.
That's why I keep saying, guys, get off of the couch. Do something.
Be proactive. Do like we do. Do like Bam Bam does. Do what Josh does. Do what, Boys of RLA are doing. Do what Monique's doing. Just get out there. Get out there. Go show up at their homes. Let everybody in the neighborhood know.
Power in numbers, I always say. And if you don't want anything to change, stay home. Stay on the couch. Let the pedophiles get away with what they're getting away with, the child rapists and the murders. And maybe one day it'll be one of your kids or grandkids. Will you be thinking, hey, I had a chance. I could have got up. I could have done something. I did nothing. You have only yourself to blame. Nobody's going to save you guys but you. That's why me and Stefano stay so busy with this kind of stuff. Do what we can. And I expect others to step up. Don't be a chicken. Be smart about it. But together we can get this done. And on that note, I'm going to end the show. Stefanos?
Sounds good, Ed.
See you guys next Thursday.